When considering the affordability of a mortgage to purchase or refinance a home, we advise a consideration of the borrower's savings and reserves. Surprisingly, this plays little to no written role in lending standards, guidelines, or in the discussions regarding housing affordability on FHA, VA, USDA, Fannie Mae, or Freddie Mac loans. Indeed, providing a mortgage at or near 100% loan to value or LTV and or with a debt to income ratio or DTI near 50% of gross income runs counter to encouraging savings. But it also greatly increases the risk of default. Consider, if you will, a person who spends every last dime to come up with the down payment and closing costs to buy a home. Now, believe it or not, this happens all the time. Now, I imagine that I and you could come up with 1,000 unlucky circumstances, like a hailstorm or the car breaking, that would lead to either increased credit card payments or, God forbid, default. But what I prefer to convey is the lack of wealth creation prevented by not having any remaining savings or no ability to save for the future. So one of our mortgage management strategies is to consider in your budget the ability to save for a down payment on the next house. We have learned that wealth is about cash flow more so than asset value. Wealth is better understood as having enough money available for future spending when it's required, not about the value of assets on paper. So this is really the foundation of asset liability management. Arguably, the most efficient way for an individual to acquire future cash flows is to leverage their cash with a level pay mortgage. Those 360 monthly principal and interest payments remain the same, while the future stream of rental payments has consistently outpaced inflation, or core CPI. So there are two components to contemplate here. Maybe consider buying a house that suits your current needs and might also be a good rental property in the future, because hardly ever do people remain in the same house for the rest of their life. And secondly, rather than overextending yourself, deliberately budget to grow your savings or investment account so you have liquidity to provide more financial stability, and that may provide for a down payment on your next home, and then your next home, and then your next home. This is really the way to build wealth.